Welcome, dear listeners, to the Beautiful Chords podcast, where we embark on a captivating journey through the lives of ordinary individuals who have achieved extraordinary feats through their strong beliefs. I'm your host, Himani, and I'm thrilled to have you join us on this inspiring adventure. In today's episode, we're honored to have Murali Krishna Magesan as our guest. He's the founder of Itihas Studios, a visionary video game developer, President of Youth Hindu New Zealand, and co-chairperson of the Auckland Council Youth Advisory Panel. As an engineer by profession and trained in Karnatic music, Murali has gained numerous awards and accolades throughout his career. In this episode, we will delve into his life, exploring the motivations behind his journey, the challenges he has faced, and the unwavering determination that has propelled him forward and made a lasting impression on those around him. So get ready to be inspired, uplifted, and motivated. Absolutely raw, unfiltered, and heart-touching conversation that resonates like beautiful chords, striking the right notes within your heart and soul. Hello, Murali. Welcome on the show. How are you?
Good morning, Himani. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
No, we're so blessed to have you on our show. Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. So, Murali, I want to begin with that as the president of Hindu Youth New Zealand and a member of multi-ethnic young leaders NZ, what do you see as the biggest challenge facing today's youth, especially those from diverse cultural backgrounds?
I think oftentimes a genuine misunderstanding of one another. And I think that's probably the biggest challenge point, particularly my generation and like younger New Zealanders or younger people across the world are facing.
Yeah.
I'd say like we are almost like the sum and substance of our identity and our experience of our identity, right? So many times like our interactions with other young people or other people just in general, I guess it's informed by our biases, our opinions, and for each person is different. And I think what happens more often than not is we don't get a chance to really understand people for who they really are. And it's the stereotypes or the generalizations or anything like that sometimes interferes in that. So I think genuine, heart-to-heart connection, and I think especially post-COVID, for a number of years where people were sort of withdrawn from each other and the dependency on gadgets or tech or other things like that. I feel like it is going to take up, and I think the way AI is going and things like that, I think there might be even more dependency. But trying to understand each other, I think go a really long way.
I completely feel that. So you mean that because of AI, there has been an additional layer of complexity into their journeys, into their paths?
I would say so. Like, for example, when I was a kid, right? So this was pre-smartphone, but it's not pre-internet, right?
Yes.
So what my childhood looked like is you had people that you knew in your neighborhood. You would go out in the morning, like for example, a weekend Saturday morning, you'd go out in the morning, you'd ride your bike, you'd play cricket, you would, just, I don't know, like climb trees and really just connect with them in nature or outside or playing games. And then you'd come home when the sun's about to set or, you hear your parents' voice saying it's time to come in or whatever it is. Now, when I see the future, like other generations coming, so I was around in that transition point where I saw smartphones start to come in.
Exactly.
Right?
We were born in that generation,
Yeah. And so then like that additional layer, now like if you see kids these days or like even toddlers, they do the swiping motion like with their fingers for like unlock screen and all of that.
Truly.
And you can see already like even within like the people who were there before smartphones, like that, I wouldn't say the word addiction, that it is there
Mm,
at times, but like their withdrawal and they're almost, you're now more technically connected,
mm,
but how many connections are we really having
yeah.
with people? You know, you could see that. And so imagine people who were born straight into only smartphones, ever knowing smartphones were there. Now, similarly, I think it's going to be a whole nother level. So it's just like, I think how pre-internet, post-internet, pre-smartphone, post-smartphone, I think it's again like that pre-AI, post-AI. I think that's gonna happen. Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, this is a very, very debatable topic.
Mm,
The more you deep dive into it, the more you feel, oh no, what's happening to the world, to the
mm,
society.
mm,
But yes, I do feel that we need a strong support system. I don't know in what sense, in what case,
mm,
but probably you are the best one to um, advise the youth on this. For example, if like what the youth network and the committee working with these challenges, what are they doing with the young leaders who are facing these kind of an issues, like what initiatives or what strategies is your youth panel implementing to help people navigate these complexities of life?
mm. So, like in the context of like Hindu Youth New Zealand,
Mm-hmm.
like working with young people, a huge part, and I think it's not just limited to young people
Yeah.
actually. It's that sense of who am I?
Hmm.
Like,
Yes.
like, like really, who am I? Like,
Hmm.
what is it? What do I value? What am I aligned to? What do I disagree with? You know, like that sense of seeking or asking
Yes.
questions,
The
right?
core inside you.
Yeah, and I think particularly during like the formative years or like as you're getting into like when you're like a young person or like you're moving into college or all of that, there is a sense of wanting to fit in,
Mm.
but that looks like different things for different people, all right? For some people, they are strongly connected with their identity.
Yeah.
They cherish that as an important part. For many people, there is a part where they want to push away from their identity as well,
Mm.
because it maybe feels for them that it's not accepted, it's not what's mainstream, it's not what's around me. So there's this a push and pull between who am I and wanting to fit in, and it's like all these multiple layers, right? And I think the additional challenge, particularly I've noticed, is that the part where there's additionally vilification that happens as a part of it. So, for example, if you have a particular identity, you know, what you see in mainstream media, what you see in the news, what you see discussed in social settings, in politics, and all of that, and then it makes you, or even academia, it gives you a little bit of a push and pull, like, am I, is my identity accepted, or is it better that I just say, no, 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 I'm not all of that. But, but I think what I realized is at the end of the day, even if you choose to cast your identity aside, the reality is people will continue to still see you through that lens. So the best thing you can do for yourself is really own your identity. If you don't know about it, make effort to learn about it. And actually that was a huge part of my journey, like growing up. So yeah, as like a practicing from like a practicing Hindu family, I grew up like understanding about puja, Hindu festivals, the food, the dance forms, the art forms, and you know all the beautiful things. But then it wasn't enough to for me to understand what are those fundamental questions. Like, okay, why am I like this? Why am I experiencing what I do? You know, what's important for me? Why am I running after something? Or why am I running from something? You know, like all of those kind of questions.
Your inner
So
voice.
that's, and so I think that's where like having, you know, the beautiful support system of like my networks, my family, community, like gurus, and different traditions, all of that help give that guidance to like those questions that I was having, like an element of seeking there. And I think that's like particularly or like very important for a lot of young people to be able to um, see and connect and find who they are. And I know that sounds super generic, but it really is. And everyone's on a different place in that journey. Maybe some people haven't even started that journey yet
Yeah.
because they haven't seen the
Right.
importance of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
For example, if somebody
Mm,
lands to your place and say, "Hi, hey, see,
mm,
I need some help. I'm seeking some support. I
mm,
am dealing with racism or discrimination, or let's say identity stereotypes." So, how do you navigate those people to the right paths? Do you have a
mm,
set of some set of some series kind of a thing? Okay, you need to be on this A journey or B journey. How
mm,
do you navigate the paths for these people? Uh,
mm,
how do you figure out, okay, they need to be in this zone or not this
mm,
zone?
mm. So from like the organizational perspective of
Hmm.
where I work, the key focus areas it works on is building capability and capacity in young people. So, so regarding your question, like, is there like a series or a plan or things that we can
Hmm.
put people on? The core competency or areas of focus the organization focuses on is um, building capability in our young people and capacity. For example, we are not focused like typical other spiritual or religious organizations within the Hindu fold. And I say this because the diversity of Hindu Sampradaya and their traditions and all of that is super diverse, right? And because of that, whatever is most suitable for you, you are encouraged to pursue that path. And where we are trying to play a role is, are you able to articulate that though? So, okay, you value something, you are following something, you are learning something, but are you able to communicate that? Are you able to articulate that? Are you able to debate that? Are you able to hold your perspective in like in a panel setting or with others? Because as much as you have identified and seen or gone to something that's important to you, um, how are you as a young person able to communicate and share what's important to you with others who might not be aware? And so coming back from that, because those are our core competencies and the areas of focus, right? It's like in the places of economy and entrepreneurship, academia,
Hmm.
media, political or politics, and human rights, and these spaces where young people are often maybe not having that
Hmm.
much engagement, or young Hindus are like learning
Hmm.
and maybe need a pathway or avenue into
Yeah.
these spaces, because all of these areas are critically important. Because if you're successful in all of these areas,
Yeah.
then again, being respected, valued,
Hmm.
and having that sense of self-pride also happens. Um, so in regards to like if people are facing discrimination, racism, and all of those kind of challenges, I think it's very important to understand at what context it's happening. So, is it with an employer? Is it with like a university, or is it where is it happening, and all of that? Yeah,
So you would
the
dig
reason I
deep into it to find out the root causes of it.
Yeah, it's that's like really important because oftentimes many of our institutions, especially in New
Hmm.
Zealand, have those avenues for rectifying a lot of those challenges. But the place where they don't have that is no organization as much. It's focused on like taking away the ills, right? Because that can be common. But building your individual self-pride and pride in your identity and confidence in your identity, that happens when you see value in your tradition, in your culture, in your practice, in you. So that aspect, to some extent, we help facilitate by having our public celebrations, our um, conferences and workshops and webinars where our young people, they themselves plan it, organize it, run it, see it end to end, and celebrate the success of it. So, yeah.
Wonderful. So, Murli, where does this Hindu Youth New Zealand Committee function? So, if somebody give us a
Mhm.
call and just ask us in general where this committee is, what location do you give this? Is this hybrid or
Actually, it's throughout New Zealand.
okay?
So we have different smaller city
Hmm.
focused groups as well. So at one point we were in Auckland,
Yeah.
Hamilton,
Hmm.
Rotorua, Wellington, and Christchurch. So these were sort of like mini hubs
Yeah.
where we had groups together.
Mm.
And so it's fluid and dynamic depending, and because like it's one of those things with young people or youth. So our age group focus is between 16 and 35.
Yeah.
So from late high school
Mm.
to young professionals, like that whole spectrum. And in that, so there'll be like diversity of thought, of understanding, life experiences, networking, pathway support, mentorship. So that whole end to end is there. And because it's such a dynamic age range, oftentimes people are looking for career jumps or maybe, young parents and families. And, it's quite a dynamic space. So here, people come in and out and they move into different roles of responsibility and things like that. So it is quite a fluid space. So that at times can be a little bit challenging, but uh, that's, I think, part of it and it's the fun of it as well. So we are located throughout New Zealand. I think the best way, if anybody
Mm.
wanted to contact, is either through our socials
Yeah.
on Insta and Facebook or just straight emailing
Mm.
hinduyouth.newzealand@gmail.com.
I will put in the link below once we share about our socials on.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was all that we spoke about New Zealand. Now I want to talk about things on a broader perspective, from a global perspective,
Mm,
because
mm,
as a speaker at the Hindu World Congress in 2014 in Delhi, in
yeah.
2018 in Chicago, in
Yeah.
2023 in Bangkok, we've
Mm,
had the opportunity
mm,
to engage with youth from different continents. So, in your
mm.
experience, do you find that the challenges young people face are similar across globe, or are they more specific to their geographical locations?
It's actually a bit of both.
Hmm.
Uh, there are like contextual challenges based on the region,
Hmm.
and then there are challenges that are based on just being a young person.
Yeah.
And that to the challenges also of being so for example, let's say maybe New Zealand, Australia, USA, UK,
Hmm.
maybe Western liberal democracies, like I'm not saying all of them are the same, but I'm saying there are similar things, similar values as a culture, as a people, as a country. And I think that you could see that it shares across the board, yeah,
Hmm.
between these countries. So the challenges there are different to
Hmm.
maybe somebody who, and like a Hindu that was brought up in, let's say, in the Indian subcontinent, nearby regions, maybe Southeast Asia. There's actually a lot of like Hindu diaspora there. And then even like in the Middle East, we have huge Hindu population,
Okay.
pretty much around the world.
Hmm.
Sorry, around the world, like even many of the countries that people would think twice, like,
Hmm.
oh, really? So, like, if you're looking at like Pacific Islands in Fiji, Suriname, Guyana, South Africa, like across the world, Trinidad, Tobago, our people are there. And one of the most beautiful things they've done is kept our culture alive so authentically.
That's so
Yeah,
good to know. Yeah.
like all these places, the way that they've kept Ramayana alive and all of that. And yes, there's the challenges of being away from the homeland from
Roots.
where they had,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
from where they had come. So that's one part of it.
Hmm.
The other other challenge about um, being like a young person, that's again, who am I? That's
Hmm.
a common question that I come across the board.
Hmm.
And but the way of operation of having to deal with it will be different. For
Hmm.
example, like my attitude here, I was brought up here, so the number eight wire attitude or
Hmm.
mentality, which is like with what you have, fix it and make things happen. Like, is that kind of just make it happen kind of
Yes.
attitude here.
That's an Abhyas.
Whereas Yeah, but other parts of the world, like their surroundings and ideas and things, could be different, right? And so that's where, like, how the approach of solving that, I see the diversity, but in regards to challenges, it's similar. And people, mm,
Similar challenges all across the globe.
mm,
That was
yeah,
wonderful. So, if I touch base on your video gaming journey as a video game
yeah,
developer,
mm,
you have
mm,
pursued any genre or theme based on current industry trends for your video gaming, for your Itihas videos? What was your
mm,
vision behind Itihas Studios? What
okay,
inspired you to create content that educates and engages people in learning about cultural heritage in
mm,
history through interactive media? Because it's a very new concept and we haven't heard about it, and it's let's talk about it over
mm,
here.
mm. So I think for me, they would have heard about video games,
Mm,
and but like the level of engagement, it's very different in different parts of the world. So I was maybe privileged enough or lucky enough where I had a chance to play video games since I
mm,
was as a kid, right? I remember playing video games with my cousin,
yeah.
with my mum. I remember
Mm,
playing Hercules or Crash Bandicoot, and when I found
yeah.
like a level that was challenging, I'd like, "Mum, please help me get over this." And
Mm,
she would sit with me, and we'd play the games together. So it played a huge role in my formative years
mm,
and like earlier part because there was a sense of connection that I sort of found through games. Like, because when you play the game, it almost becomes like you take on that avatar
yes.
and
Yes.
that's the person you become. So when that person is a hero or is a person like overcoming struggle or challenges, it's like you almost experience their wins as your own wins, that their successes as your own successes. So there was a, but I think I didn't realize this till much later when I look back. Why did I value or cherish that so much? Like the sense of exploration and journey and growth, and so that was one part of it. My experience playing. Um, and for those not aware, like I actually come from a Bachelor of Engineering, specializing in electrical electronic engineering. So I did that, safe, traditional, time-tested, career method and was following that. And I worked for about 5 years actually alongside
Yeah.
Himani for some time as well at Vision Pikel. And
That's
then
where we
from
met.
there,
Mm,
yes, yes, and it was so lovely to connect. And from there, I moved into product ownership, so
mm,
moving into more of the managing and the vision and all of that. And then I was like, if I'm not doing what I'm passionate about,
mm.
if every day,
I feel you.
um, like if I'm not getting up to do what I want to do, like am I being? It's almost like am I doing justice or am I doing right by me, right?
Yeah.
So then I realized like I want to make video games. Like, and what about it? What about is it for me? Was it like the a creative side? Because I did a lot of art growing up. So art, modeling, painting, all of that. Then I was like, and because of the career path, I picked up a lot of software development skills. So, or did I want to write code? Or did I want to be a programmer? And beyond that, what I realized is I wanted to tell stories. And and the thing is, I come from a tradition where storytelling is a huge part. Hindu tradition is story within story. The outcome of a story is another story. From the story comes so many truths and understandings. So, like having that, like I've played, like in from Egyptian times to Middle East to Europe to fantasy settings, like so many parts of the world. But this part which focus on Hindu civilization, which is so diverse, like it cannot be just limited to, it's just so diverse in its nature, from temples, from the city structures, the villages, art forms, dances, sculptures, text, languages. There is so much content to touch on. And I wanted to be able to bring this wonder to the world. And I wanted them to understand and see that Hey, look, this is what Hindu civilization is, and I want you all to experience it. And regards to there is no dearth for content. There is plenty,
Truly.
plenty. So
I
yes,
bet.
that was my inspiration to do this. Yeah.
That's great because I remember
Mm,
back in India, where I was born and brought up, in 90s
mm,
there used to be video game parlors in every
mm,
street. So literally we used
mm,
to run after the school just to take that 1 rupee from our parents to go and play that video game. So I completely feel
mm,
that the those childhood memories that's
mm,
been with us
mm,
throughout somewhere or
mm,
the other, it always leaves a long lasting impression on us.
mm.
No matter whatever you
Yeah,
do, no matter whatever career paths we chose, somewhere or the other, it does leave a real impact on who you are. So, Murli, as
yeah.
a game developer committed to creating content that educates and empowers players with the knowledge of Hindu civilization, how do your games approach the
Mm,
storytelling aspect? Do they reinforce the well known narratives and morals, or do they explore lesser known stories and perspectives?
mm. I think when I look at that question, so does it sort of reinforce the like narratives and morals, that aspect of it? There will be parts of that because that's the stories and the ideas and the concepts that many are familiar with. Well, anyone who has sort of grown up with that, like in a Hindu household and heard a lot of these stories. At the same time, I think it's important to show the depth and variety of these Puranas or Itihasas or all these stories because I think it's important for people to
Mm,
understand the diversity of thought, the range of perspectives. Like within the same idea, something that is showing as a positive in one story will be shown as negative in the other story, which like gives the idea of that nothing is really absolute. Nothing is everything is contextual. Everything is so like all these key concepts which if you say it's one thing, it's not always just that
yes.
one thing. It's that and more. Or it could be something different. So it's like that, how would I say, that whole plethora of ideas, that whole range of thoughts and perspectives. I would be wanting to bring that. So from Hindu civilization, what I'm saying is ideas of various tattvas, truths, um, and some things like architecture, knowledge systems, things like that, which aren't so common or aren't so familiar or sort of, or it's just not been explored. Like if you see some of our temples, thousands of years old, huge, made out of stone and hand carved, everything. But how many people actually understand like how crazy amazing that is, you know? And like if it's not articulated and shown and presented, then many people would take it for granted. Oh yeah, just a temple. But like it's a temple. Do you understand like the that it's re-inspiring our younger generation about the like the how awe-inspiring it all is, you know? So wanting to bring that and almost like a sense of discovery. Like you'll be discovering yourself and parts of you as you do that journey.
When you say temple,
Yeah.
it's just not four walls with the pictures with deities inside. It the walls does have meaning. So, for example, uh, when we were young, and anytime we went out with our parents to visit
Mm,
monuments and temples, we ensured we have guides with us
mm,
because they run you through the process of it, not
mm,
because they tell you where to go and
mm,
where not to go, but they tell you if this is carved, if this is engraved something, what's the reason behind it? Because they know the history about
mm,
it. So yeah, it's
mm,
always wonderful to have
mm,
them along.
mm,
Um,
mm.
you are trained in Carnatic music. Do you specialize in vocal or instrumental?
Yeah, so um, I
Hmm.
specialize in vocal, and and a big thanks to my Carnatic music guru. Um, Shamla Hariharan ji, Srimati Shamla Hariharan. And how it actually started is when I
Mm.
was very young, uh,
Yeah.
while I was in Hamilton. My dad had put me in a Karnatic vocal class with a different teacher, and I had learned for maybe 6 months, 1 year before I had to move to Rotorua. So there weren't any Carnatic music teachers there. But once I got back to
Mm.
Auckland for a university, I had first come in contact through somebody I knew in my uni. He learned
Mm.
Carnatic violin playing, and then he introduced me to his teacher, and then I had gone and I started attending classes, all of that. And then once I started working, I'd gone for about 3, 4, 5 years. It's like I can't remember how long, and for that I learned, and because I wasn't starting like like a student, like like a young child who'd be trained through the syllabus and all of that. I was still taken through syllabus, but um because like a heavy focus on my spiritual grounding, the teacher would focus on that through Carnatic music, uh, like visualizing deities, visualizing Devi, and how when you sing, she should be coming and being there with you while you are like. So it came from a very different context. So I learned it like that, and I've unfortunately not been able to keep up with it recently, but it has played a huge part of like um, just connecting with the divine through
Wonderful.
music.
So
Yeah.
this was all about how the musical background has influenced your personal life. How do you think it has made a huge impact
Mhm.
on your professional life?
I think it has built uh,
Mm.
like certain behaviors, like about consistency, about practice. I think consistency is a huge one. Like in anything, like the fact that you choose to
Yeah.
show up every time, whether
Mm.
you're working out on your body, whether you're working on a project, whether you're working on, like financial freedom, whatever it is, consistency that will make you successful. It's not those short bursts of high impact. It's the fact that you can, regardless of how you feel, how you're doing every day, being able to make it, or whatever that time frame is. And so like singing helped inspire that. It so started also gave me the understanding of seeing the divine in the places where we normally wouldn't see it. Um, so in day to day, like even experiences like, because when I would hear the music, when my music teacher would sing, it would put me in a different state actually. Like a real grounded in like a oneness kind of feeling, and feeling that I am not feeling separate from the divine, and like it. And she has witnessed it happen a few times, that when she had sung, how like I would respond like in a different state, and she's like, that is a testament to really the singing. Uh, like it's a worship in its own right. It is a calling the divine, and that experience happens as a part of it. So then it's like, okay, through singing, if that's one way, like then through the other senses as well, like what I hear, what I see, what I like, yeah. So like that, that has played,
Yes.
I think quite a diverse role, but in the workplace, particularly, consistency and effort that it has shown. It has shown building that skill
Wonderful,
set. Yeah.
Murli. I'm sure one episode will not do justice to this entire conversation and to all those facets that you have in you. No matter how many episodes we do, you have so much to share, so much knowledge that you can bring into the world.
Thank you.
And trust me,
Mm,
being so young, being such a young guy, and guiding and advising another set of young people, let's say even adults, takes a lot. So great. Congratulations on what you're doing. We are incredibly proud of you. This is so good.
thank you, Himani. It's very kind of it, and it happens from the inspiration that I have received. Like, I realize
Mm.
these are all things that I value, I find important to me, I cherish, and because of that, I want to do for others also to experience the same.
It's all
That's where
about
the
giving back
inspiration
to the
comes from.
society, whatever we have gained from them. Yeah.
Yeah,
In fact, giving
100%.
back by much more than
Yeah.
what we have even received with so much love, gratitude, and joy.
That's actually when it's really fulfilling. When you're able to give back like that, that's when you really feel like,
That's where the real
wow,
satisfaction lies.
like what I'm. Yes, 100%, 100%. Yeah.
Thank you, dear listeners, for joining us on today's incredible journey of inspiration and motivation. We hope that Murali Krishna Magesan's story has touched your heart and left you with a sense of purpose and possibility. Thank you for tuning in today's podcast, where we continue to celebrate the beautiful stories of ordinary individuals doing extraordinary things. Until next time, stay inspired, stay motivated, and keep playing the beautiful chords of life.